I was battling sleep. Most people have already slept. I said, you have already lost us. We are already tired. Because the people that you're assassinating, we don't really know them. The ones that we even know that they are assassinated, before we can even blink, the assassination has finished. Not assassination, elimination has finished, and we have already started walking to the next place. So we don't even have time to grieve. And by the time you're eliminating them, pa, 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 and then just talk, 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 eliminate, talk, 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 talk. So much talking, by the way. A lot of this movie is walking and talking. That's a lot of the movie. And then I cannot even hear what they are saying. So they are walking, talking. I'm hearing half. I'm not hearing half. So I just came back from watching the movie The Long Walk. I'm back in house clothes. And well, I have notes. I'm just going to go through my notes because they kind of go according to the movie. Spoilers are like, but before I talk about spoilers, let me tell you what the movie is about. It's essentially about a group of boys. There's a bunch of society has collapsed, the economy is bad. So it's very like it's directed by the director of the Hunger Games. So it's a game. It's a game style. So they all opt into this game where basically the last person walking gets money. So basically they just keep walking. If you stop walking after, you get eliminated. That's the gist of it. Now, before I even went to watch it, my friend was like, this premise of just, walking and talking can get very boring in a film. And I said it really easily could, and I hope they're able to pull it off. Well, let's get into spoilers. Yeah, let's talk about the movie. The first note that I have is Peter's jeans. I need those jeans. The blue jeans, like with the I need the exact cut. Is it like a slim fit? What brand? What color? I need those jeans because those jeans looked good, and I need to know where he got those jeans from. Second thing I want to talk about is maybe it's the Nigerian in me. Maybe I'm just not good at hearing maybe the southern accent. Is that what was meant to be the southern accent? But the character of Peter, hey! I said I need subtitles. But then it wasn't only him. There was another time too where towards the end of the movie, the boy that's a fitness enthusiast, the third person, like I guess second runner up in the game, is giving a speech. And when I tell you there's some parts I'm not even hearing what he's saying. But especially the character of Peter. He's talking in a very like, oh no, no, like his voice is kind of deeper, and then he has like an accent. And when I tell you there were moments where I'm telling you that Peter was talking and I was saying whatever he just said. Whatever this man just said, okay. Because I did not hear one word. Maybe they should hire me sometimes to come and do, auditory listener audience. Can you hear what this person is saying? And then I will say yes or no so that we can know. Because I didn't hear what this person was saying for half of this movie. When they eliminate that first boy, I'm not going to hold you. I didn't know it was going to be as graphic. Because when they poop him, it's really like his jaw basically is like, it like smashes his jaw, right? Like, yeah, his jaw cracks open and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is very graphic. So, yeah, and then they do the title card, The Long Walk. So I was like, well, I guess they did something very graphic to really bring us in. The next thing that I want to say is the Bakovic character. They always have that character. So many of this, let me talk about something. Let me tell you about something. This movie, am I the only one that this movie really played on archetypes? There were so many archetypal characters. And outside of Ray, I believe that's the main person's name. I really hope it's Ray. Yeah. Ray and Peter are the two main characters. And when I tell you the rest, I just because we don't really get here and there, but a lot of the dialogue is safe for two of them. So much so that this is one of my big critiques of this movie is that like some people when they poop them, they eliminate them. Again, the whole purpose of the thing that they're supposed to keep walking. So after an elimination, you can't even linger too much because they physically need to keep walking. What I would say was that after like, let me not even get ahead of myself, but basically just to know that the killings or the elimination started happening so frequently that it was like at some point I don't even know who was getting eliminated anymore. There was this moment in the movie, let me not jump ahead of myself, but let me say that the Bakovic character, they always have that archetypal character, I guess that's just the mini. And then I guess with his character, we're supposed to now see that, he's a flawed, troubled human. He's the one that was taunting Rank for no reason, and then Rank gets eliminated kind of because of his actions, and then he kind of starts slapping himself on the head. I was like, these characters that they always use, this very like they're just mean, and then they're troubled and they're flawed. Are we not tired? But I guess he's an archetypal character, and I said, okay, I guess he's a bully, but he's troubled. Are we not tired of this? I don't know. The boy crapping on the road, I was laughing. I'm so sorry. When that boy was he took down his trousers and he was crapping and he just kept on walking. And then he's crapping and he's walking, and then somebody's putting a gun to his head and it's like they're counting him down, but he just keeps crapping. I found it comedic. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'm a trash person. I found it comedic. That was kind of funny. That like I was like, not you getting assassinated or eliminated for crapping. Yikes. Then I wrote there's a place in the middle where the bodies just start dropping. I think it's in the middle of the night, and suddenly bodies are just dropping left and right. Like and it's just poop, poop, poop. I was like, wait, people seem to be walking. Why are they just dropping these bodies like flies? I guess they had to just like eliminate like half of the people because they need to get to the principal characters. But it was so abrupt that I was like, the people seem to be walking. Why are they dropping like flies? It was such a. Do you know what I'm talking about in this movie? If you have watched this film, that was so random to me. Anyways, then the next thing that I wanted to say was that the way these characters would just be going. Okay, now listen to what I wanted to say. That I think they got to a point in this movie where the characters, because we didn't really know them or we didn't really spend enough time with them, like they weren't really fleshed out. We kind of got a little bit of maybe four of them, like that we got the most of. But then the rest is kind of like archetypal people. Like, okay, we get maybe one line and then the person kind of is eliminated. And then once they're eliminated, we just keep walking. So there is not really much time to even mourn the deaths or to really hold space with the people that are gone. So it almost kind of took away from the emotional heft of this movie for me. And then when finally, because Peter, I believe is his name, yes, is asked in the beginning of the movie about his car. By the time he finally gets around, towards the end of the movie to finally tell us the story about this car and all of that, when I tell you this in the hall that I was in the cinema, half of the people have slept. I was battling sleep. Most people have already slept. I said, you have already lost us. We are already tired. Because the people that you are assassinating, we don't really know them. The ones that we even know that they are assassinated, before we can even blink, the assassination has finished. Not assassination, elimination has finished, and we have already started walking to the next place. So we don't even have time to grieve. And by the time you're eliminating them, pa, 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 and then just talk, 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 eliminate, talk, 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 talk. So much talking, by the way. A lot of this movie is walking and talking. That's a lot of the movie. And then I cannot even hear what they are saying. So they are walking, talking. I'm hearing half. I'm not hearing half. They eliminate one person. I say, oh, this one still don't go. Hey, then they talk. I don't hear. They eliminate. Finally, by the time that Peter finally gets around to giving his own life story, people have slept off. When I tell you that towards the end of the movie, by the fact that there's another time that somebody else grabbed the gun, the other boy. I didn't really have many lines, but he grabs the gun, eliminates one of the soldiers, and then eliminates himself. This is when the movie, I guess, trying to kind of like pick up. People had already slept in my hall. I see you took too long. This movie is 1 hour 48 minutes. It's too long. All the talking, we don't already sleep. People have slept off. It's now you're trying to bring action when the half of the audience has slept. And then the ending, because the film don't the end. Then the ending when Peter tries to sacrifice himself. We hear warning, warning, and then the other guy turns back and is like, no, Ray turns back and is like, no, Peter, no, you can't do this. So then they are both walking. And do you notice that when Peter now, no, when Ray now goes ahead of Peter and Ray is the one behind, I didn't hear any warning. Next thing, they shot Ray. I said, I thought that they usually give warning before they shoot them. How come when it's Ray's time to be eliminated, they didn't give him any warning? I didn't hear warning player 47, I mean, whatever his number was. They just pop, pop. And I said, oh, so that's how it ends? And then at the end of the movie, Peter keeps walking. The long walk. It was a long walk indeed. Let me tell you something to quickly wrap this up. This type of premise, as my friend said, it would be very hard to keep this up and to keep it entertaining. And I will not say that they did it very successfully for me. And some of the people in my hall that we really were dozing off. People who slept in droves. But some people seem to enjoy this movie, and if you did, no hate. I see why the movie is, especially towards the end, it starts getting more emotional. Anyways, it wasn't really my favorite movie. It was cool. If you do not know who I am, by the way, if you're watching this whole video, my name is VDK. I make movie bingo cards, which you can find on my Substack, vdkfilmclub.substack.com, and I talk about movies. Until the next movie that I watch and the next video that I make, have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you are thinking of checking out The Long Walk, please don't let me discourage you. Go and check it out and make up your own mind for your own self. And if you have watched it, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right. Bye. And I will see you after I watch the next movie. Bye-bye.